my next point. You have a very good working relationship. I'm using your exact words. Who, with the National Commissioner, Minister, who do you think was best placed to brief you, to brief you on whether or not the PKTT should be disbanded?
Now, that...
Bear in mind that you have a very good working relationship with the National Commissioner of Police, our entire police service, the South African Police Service. You have a very good working relationship with the person who heads it. Who do you think was best placed to brief you on whether the PKTT should be disbanded?
It would be, I would be informed by discussions. I would be informed by conclusions on those discussions, not necessarily to say, come and brief me on the disbandment, but if I needed a briefing. But I took it that the discussions that we had by that time informed all of us that that is the imperative that we are getting to. Looking at organizational structures, looking at where we were going. Somebody needed to take a decision, and I took the decision at the end of the year.
Minister, I'm not sure that answers my question. I want a clear indication on a particular warm body or particular warm bodies. And I try to assist you by making a specific reference to the person that heads the police, of which you are the minister. I'm asking for a warm body, or warm bodies, that were best placed to advise / brief you on whether the PKTT should be disbanded? Or does the long explanation you give suggest that as you sit there, you take the view that there is not a single person that you thought would be best placed to brief you on whether the PKTT, a task team of the South African Police Service that the National Commissioner heads, should brief you? Are you saying, as you sit there, there is no such person? You were entitled to just take the decision without at all being briefed by a particular person that should have been best placed to brief you?
Commissioner, I would
So the question is two-pronged, as it were. I've not dropped the first part, which is, who do you think was best placed to brief you? And then there's the second prong, which is, as you sit there, are you suggesting that there's no such person?
No, I'm merely saying we had discussions, in other words, briefings from the National Commissioner in November, and we were agreeing that there should be a review, but it was not particularly on disbandment. And if there would have been identification of the need for a briefing before, it would have been...
Again, Minister, I'm asking about a person that would have been best placed. I'm not asking you about what was done or what was not done. Who is the person, who is the functionary that would have been best placed to brief you? That's a very simple question, Minister, please.
It is the National Commissioner.
We all know you did. We all know that you took the decision without asking him to brief you on whether the PKTT should be disbanded. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Now, if he was the person best placed to brief you, Why did you not ask him to brief you?
Now, this decision, as I say, flows from the 29th, when I finally took the break. 29, 30, 31, I write
29, when you finally did what?
29 December,
When you finally did what?
when I finally took the break to reflect on what we had been doing all the time. So I reflect on the 28th, I reflect on the 30th, and I say, let me issue this directive, and then we will start engaging after. And in the meantime, there would then be space for all of us to engage. If it comes to a point where we have to review the decision through the preliminary report or something else, that I would be prepared to do.
If you were open to a review, what was the big rush?
Pardon?
If you were open to a possible review which could have resulted in the reversal of the decision, what was the big rush? You say 29, 30, 31, you decide. What was the big rush? What was the big rush, Minister?
The rush,
Yes.
if I could use your words, Commissioner, was to give an indication that what was supposed to have happened before and the wrongs that were going on in terms of budgeting and so on, let us discuss those at the beginning of the year, but the decision is being taken that we disband, and so that we now focus on the decision, whether we agree, all of us, on this, or we don't agree, it would be fine. I was flexible and I was open to that decision, but don't postpone taking a decision at the time that you think you need to take a decision. And I didn't see anything wrong in taking the decision, but open and flexible to whatever that could come after the engagements. There are decisions that, there are instances where decisions have been taken and you say this decision needs to be taken in the interest of the public, and then we will consult. There are such instances that have happened in government.
Minister, I still don't understand that explains the big rush, especially if you say that you were open to being convinced that the decision ought not to have been taken. Why start with a decision and await a possible reversal if you are convinced? It just gives me the sense that you were in a terrible rush. So my question stands, why the big rush? Why this terrible rush?
I wouldn't.
I don't understand.
Yeah, I wouldn't necessarily say it was a big rush. It merely was an exercise of the power to issue a directive, which I could use and then have a discussion. I didn't see anything wrong with a decision and then we discuss.
Minister, you ministers don't issue directives for directives' sake. Why could you not rather say to the National Commissioner, National Commissioner, I am minded to disband the PKTT. Please tell me why I should not do so, and only disband the PKTT if you were not satisfied with the reasons that he gave you. Why did you not do it that way? I just don't understand this inverted decision, as it were. Decision, but I may be convinced to reverse it. That doesn't make sense to me. Why did you not say to General Masemula, General, I'm minded to disband the PKTT. Give me reasons why I should not do so.
Well, I didn't think that particular way, commissioners.